Hey everyone. Let's see. Do we have the sound going? I'm just checking to make sure we have the sound up. Hi everyone, Donnie here. Wednesday afternoon, alone in the studio today because it's an Ask Me Anything session. I'm just checking the sound. So let me know, everyone, if online here, do you have a sound? Can you hear me? Let's see settings here. New microphones today. That's why it's checking. I have sound there. It looks like I have sound here as well. So it looks like I have sound coming in. Everything seems good. Anyway, hi everyone, Donnie here. It's 2:30 p.m. It's a Wednesday afternoon. You're watching Innovation Fika with me, Donnie. Every Wednesday I go live 2:30 p.m. usually with a guest, but the first Wednesday every month I go live with an AMA session, an Ask Me Anything session. There you go, Yash. Good seeing you online. Wonderful. Hi from India. Let everybody know where you're from. And Elena is here as well, my last week's guest. Awesome. We had a great session last week, me and Elena Hofer. Check that one out. It's on YouTube. All of the recordings are on YouTube. All of my written content is on Medium. I will also be releasing my webpage soon, very soon. So everything will be there, and we'll open up the world for more like email lists and things like that. Anyway, really good to see you all online today. Today, I had this idea of working with the H&M Foundation Global Change Award, the big competition that we're running here in Stockholm now. But the thing is, the winners are of course not official until tomorrow afternoon. So yeah, I'm just we have to keep that under wraps. So, but anyway, it's the first weekend, the first Wednesday of the month, and it's an AMA session. Ask me anything. So let's get the questions going. Hi, Rohit as well. Awesome to see you here again. And this is good. Hi from Stockholm. We have India. We have Stockholm again. This is good. By the way, Elena, you should connect with Rohit here in Stockholm. Rohit, are you still in Stockholm, by the way? I think you are, right? This is good. Ask me anything is the topic of today. Anyway, this week I've been working with the winners of the Global Change Award, which is the biggest innovation competition in textile and fashion in the world, run by the H&M Foundation. And the winners get, apart from a bag of money, which they all get, they also get part of a 1-year virtual accelerator program that starts with a week in Stockholm. And that week in Stockholm actually starts here at KTH Innovation. And it actually started with me and my colleague Anna on Monday. And we went through the KTH Innovation readiness levels Monday. And then, of course, yesterday was the National Day of Sweden. So they did other things then. And then today again, I've worked with them. And then tomorrow on Thursday is the big City Hall gala announcement of this year's winners who win the prize and get to go in the program. And then they get support from H&M Foundation, Accenture, Mills Fabrica, an Asian textile company as well, and some other partners, I think. But those are the main partners, at least. Okay, let's see. Rohit, you're on holiday in India. Okay, where in India are you, Rohit? I've been to India. Not India is a huge country. I've been to a number of places. Four times, 8 cities, I think, so far. So where are you, Rohit? Where in India are you? Let me know. And by the way, Yash, where are you in India? Do I know that? Have you told us that? Yash, where are you in India now? Let us know as well in the comments. However, anyway, this is an open session for anyone that wants to talk about anything. So ask away. I'll just keep talking until the questions start. The questions are Kolkata. Have I been there? I'm thinking I might not have been there. Damn it, you picked one of the cities of the 1,000 that I haven't been to in India. Anyway, however, today we've been working with the KTH readiness levels, the 6 levels of the KTH innovation readiness model. You might know it. By the way, if you're interested, this is another tip. On Friday, this Friday, I'm actually giving an open webinar on LinkedIn and on through here on the readiness levels. And I have a guest from Brazil, Wilson Alves, from one of the most prominent research institutes in Brazil, is going to go through how they work with the KTH Innovation Readiness Level model, and they've integrated it into their whole institute. It's super cool. I'm super impressed with what they're doing. So tune in on Friday if you want. Live session 2 p.m. Yeah, 2 p.m. on Friday. And you'll hear Wilson from Brazil talk about how they've built their innovation process built around the KTH innovation readiness model. That's on Friday. And let's see here. We have Yash from Mumbai. Yes, I've been there. Rohit in Kolkata. Back for midsummer. What's your plans for midsummer? That's the first good question. Actually, my normal plans for the midsummer is to do as little as possible. The thing is, I have I travel a lot with work. I travel a lot here at KTH. So when I'm off and I'm free, I like to not travel. So in summer, when everybody else like goes on holiday, I love staying home. And nothing is better than being in Stockholm on midsummer, because everybody's left the city. Everybody goes out in the archipelago and finds, the typical Swedish house, the red house with the white trimmings. And then they have the maypole and they do the dancing around the maypole and then have the snaps and the herring and everything. And I love staying in town then because it's empty and quiet and wonderful. Let's see, what's the highlight of this week? Actually, that's also a good question, because we've had a crazy couple of weeks here. It's like, it started with the US. I was in the US, 4 cities in 10 days, came back, and then we had, oh my God, so many things happening. We had the Google CEO. We had visits from about 5 or 6 foreign delegations come in. We had the EU, Swedish chair of the EU there. The Deep Tech conference started here as well. And then now it's the Global Change Award week. It's just been highlights of this week has been working with the Global Change Award, getting into the readiness levels and actually working with the new projects. And it never fails, even projects that are kind of mature and kind of have things going. They always put themselves in the levels, and they realize that, oh, damn it, there's so much else that we should be doing as well. It's super, super useful. So that's probably the highlight on this week. Yesterday was a highlight as well. It's just taking my bike and riding around town, watching all of the people celebrating the 500th anniversary of Sweden as a modern nation. That was a wonderful day yesterday as well. Beautiful weather, beautiful people, beautiful blue sky. It was an incredible day. I really enjoyed yesterday. So that's another highlight. So many highlights in every week. Let's see. Elena, here. What was your best failure that taught you? Elena, there are so many. But okay, my best failure that taught me something. Okay, one. Let's see. Which one should we pick? I think here's one of the classics, which I've made a number of times. And why doesn't he learn, you ask? Well, I don't know. Is overestimating the need for the idea or the product. And of course, believing that everybody else will just get it just by putting it out there. Most people don't get it, especially if it's like too innovative or too new. And just by putting it out there doesn't mean that you'll get 1,000 followers or customers. It needs quite a lot of work. That's a classic failure that I've done a number of times. Overestimating thinking that there's this pent up need for what I'm doing. There might be a need, but it might need, again, you need to address it in a way that people get it and that resonates with them, not that resonates with you. And that's another thing that goes into that, is that you've spent a year thinking about your idea, right? So you've spent all of this time overthinking it, over engineering it, of course, but you have all of this and it's so simple. And then you tell people and you expect them to like get it right away. However, there's one thing hearing it and one thing accepting it, and there's one thing emotionally buying into it. They usually say that the world's longest 2 feet is from here to here. I mean, one thing to hear it and just rationally sort of understand it, and then a whole different thing of buying into it and emotionally buying into it. When you talk about sales, that a good sales effort, you want people's, and a good pitch, you want their gut to give their brain the permission to write the check. So that's usually the underestimating. So you do your pitch in front of people and you say, ta-da! Don't you love it? And they're going, look, you've given me 10 seconds to listen and understand what you're doing. You've had a year. So can you give me a day? The understanding that people need this time as well. If you've been working on it for a long time, and this is a big thing when it comes to working with leadership and organization development, the management team, they go away and they're like super strategic and they build this new strategy and they've spent months working on the strategy, and then they unleash it in front of all of the employees and they just expect everyone to go, yay, it's fantastic. They want everybody to react like when Steve Jobs presented an iPhone. But most people are sitting there going, I don't get it. What do they mean? What does this mean to me? Is this going to change my job? Do I still have a job? And all of these thoughts. So you have to understand that people have the time in getting into everything like that. So that's one thing. And again, so many mistakes, Elena. Let's see what else. I had another one I was thinking of. A really good mistake. Let's see, which one was that? I can't remember it. I will come back to me. Let's see. Question from Robert. You've been traveling around quite a bit and met interesting people. What are some new upcoming tech that caught your attention? Which one made you go, wow? That's a very good question. What interesting tech have I seen the past sort of months or so that have made me go, wow? I think one problem I have at the moment is that I'm kind of, there's been so much going on in tech now for the last 6 months with the whole AI thing and robotics and the fusion that's going on here. There's so many things going on. So it's like you're getting to a point where you go, whatever, it's so many cool new things. But I will say then, I'll give you a straight answer, Rohit. The coolest thing that I've encountered the past couple of months is the fusion demonstrator that Novatron Fusion is going to build here at KTH. That's I'd say that one. It is actually, it's not a full fusion reactor, but it's one of the key components to getting fusion energy working. Because and I can't explain this as well as they did, but they were on Innovation Fika, 3 weeks ago, I think, from San Francisco. Live, that was it from San Francisco. The problem with fusion is that you have these extreme high temperatures. We're talking like in the sun. We're talking millions and millions of degrees of heat. So you cannot just sort of put them in a cup of coffee because the coffee and the cup will just. So you need to find something that can withstand these extreme high temperatures. So what they've done is they've built a chamber with magnetic walls. There's no actual touching going on. There's actually a virtual chamber with a magnetic field that will then be able to hold the millions of degrees of temperature that these fusion reactors will need to work. And so the inventor of Novatron, he's actually come up with how to build these magnetic walls so they don't leak. That's the big breakthrough. And that's what they're building here, actually now at KTH. And hopefully next year, 2024, there will be a demonstration of this magnetic chamber, hopefully proving that they have the core of a fusion reactor, which is super cool, because with that, we can unleash energy in abundance that we haven't been done before, and with much less fallout and so forth. But as I said, that was on the Innovation Fika a couple of weeks ago, so you can check that one out. What else is going on out there? Okay, thank you for that one. If I were to move on, kind of, which one would I pick? Oh, that's a good one. That's a very good question, actually, because so I kind of like a lot of things from many different countries, all countries have their specific flavor, but it also depends on what I would be doing there. I mean, would I be working there? Would I be living there? Would I be raising a family there? Canada has a nice ring to it. Canada is much like Sweden when it comes to, I think, being both progressive and also respect for the whole sustainability thing and so forth. I think Canada is a good mix of like North America and Sweden. The US, I've spent time in the US. There's lots of things in the US I don't like, but there's lots of things in the US that I do like as well. I do like that. But if I could pick one country, I'd like to. There's lots of countries I'd like to try to live in, but maybe not sort of settle down in. I mean, think I'm actually quite happy in Sweden. It's quite cool. Let's see here, Rohit. Yeah, it will. Yes, no, not actually where the old reactor was. It's actually just next door here. It's next door, not in the ground where the old reactor was. By the way, for those who don't know, we actually have an old reactor hall here at CET, 100 feet below ground. They opened up a big cavern in the granite mountain where they installed Sweden's first nuclear reactor. Of course, it was the 50s, right? Let's put a nuclear reactor in the center of town. What could go wrong? I mean, in the 50s, everything was fantastic and the future was great and everything was harmless. So yes, there was a nuclear fission, not fusion, fission reactor here at KTH R1. It's in the reactor hall here. No, it's not there anymore. It's decommissioned. They took it away in the 80s, and the radiation in that space is less down in the ground than it is up here now with all of the radiation we have in our normal daily life. And it's one of the coolest event spaces at the moment. So if you're ever at KTH and you can catch a show, the Opera College is here on campus as well. And they do a lot of their shows in the reactor hall. So if you're ever here and can catch a show with them, the acoustics for singing is fantastic. Here we go. Hey, Marcelina, good to see you. What's the most commonly overestimated by founders element in the startup development? Oh, wow. How many can I pick? But I think people they always overestimate the need for their idea, at least their initial idea, the way they package it. They underestimate the time. They overestimate how much money they're going to get in, as you know, in the first period, because they always think that I'll release it here, I'll start making money there, and then there's a hockey stick here, and then in 2 years I'll be a billionaire, and then I can sell it for $1 trillion. I think people over or underestimate the time it takes. I mean, I usually say it takes 7 to 10 years to build a company. So from the idea that you have until it's to a point where you have an up and running business with money coming in, with a solid customer base, paying salaries for a number of people, and everything is working, sort of kind of established with a foothold in the market, that's 10 years. Every company I've built, I can see that it's taken 10 years to go from the idea to actually being on the market. And many of the things that we worked with here at KTH Innovation, 10 years into the game, they are now becoming established on the market. But that was like 10, 12 years ago that we started working with them. So time is one thing. And of course, as I also said, overestimating the need or your incredibleness and overestimating your uniqueness. I know it's a horrible thing to say to founders, but you're not alone in the world. There are kind of a number of other people. And usually that's another thing. We've done a lot of travels to like Silicon Valley. We started out our internationalization program. We started going to Silicon Valley, I think it was in 2012 or something. The normal tech tourist thing, you drive around on the bus, you take a selfie in front of the Facebook thumb and go, yeah, selfie, fantastic. That tech touristy thing that many people do in Silicon Valley. But the interesting thing with Silicon Valley is that it's a place where so many people congregate in entrepreneurship. So I usually say it's like Hollywood for actors, Silicon Valley is for entrepreneurs. So everybody who's ever had this aspiring dream of being an actor, they come to Hollywood and they look up at the sign and they go, wow, I'm in Hollywood. I'm here, baby. That, of course, is a long way to actually getting to the point when they're in the movies. Same thing with entrepreneurs. They go to Silicon Valley, they go to Palo Alto or San Francisco, and they go, I'm in Silicon Valley, baby. That's a very long way from being there to getting to a point where you're actually being funded by somebody. However, again, I'll say just that on the yes. So they land in Silicon Valley and they realize, especially the European startups, and they come there thinking that they're the bee's knees and they're the only one that ever thought about this ever before. Then realize that, oh, there's another 10 startups doing exactly the same thing I'm doing. And 5 of those, they're already funded and they have a lot more customers than I have already. Oops. And it's like, the very good, healthy slap in the face of people to understand that other people are doing it. So I think the good thing is to do the math, right? Because if you're an engineer, how many people are actually studying engineering? How many people work as engineers? How many people of those are thinking about new ideas? And how many people of those are thinking about new ideas in your vertical? And how many people of those in your vertical are actually trying to start something? And you can probably come down to that there might be a couple of 100,000 people thinking of exactly the same need that you're trying to address right now, meaning that there are a number of thousand people that are actually trying to start something, which is exactly like your idea right now. So do the math. Let's see. Hi, Nadia. Nadia is here, and Eric as well. Question for Donnie. What's the current general situation for founders funding in Stockholm? Such a good question. The thing is, there's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of money for the right kind of ideas. And and it's me being very biased saying this, but there's a lot of money for the right people as well. If you're the right person and you know the right people, there's always money to be found. If you're the wrong person and you don't know the right people, it's even in the good times, it's hard to raise money. That's just, that's the way it is. However, it's kind of dried up right now. It's because of the state of the world. So what happens in those situations is that the two kinds of money that disappear is the very early angel investment. The smaller ones usually disappear quite early because the people with the less money, they have it tied up in stock or investments or other thing, and their sort of cash flow dries up. You need a lot more money to have money left over when the times are bad. And then the vision pitch money, just getting $1 million for an idea kind of thing, just, throwing out money for that sounds fun, or running for something that's really hot. Those kind of things dry up as well. So now you'll find investors asking for traction, data, customers, actual validation of your idea in a much larger sense. When the times are good, people throw money at everything because it's all about, I have to invest in ideas. However, if you pick the right idea, you pick the right vertical, you know the right people, you'll always find money for your ideas. I mean, today people are throwing money at AI like nothing else. As I said, I was in the US, and it's crazy. I mean, they're funding AI ideas like mad, even though the times are bad. Yeah, exactly. Very good, Nadia. In current funding situation, deal quality is up and deal flow is down. Definitely. Definitely. Let's see. There was a question here from where was that one? Lots of questions coming in. What's the most? Yeah, we had that one. Here's a different one from. We can go into talk about more funding as well, but here's one from. How do you rehearse before you take a meeting or do a Fika? That's a good question. I have a very simple script that I follow and that I share with my guests and say, this is the flow we're going to go through. Here are the questions I'm going to ask, kind of. But the Fika is very specific. That's just a discussion. I have a topic. The guests have prepared their top 3 tips as well, so we know what we're kind of talking about. And then it's just for me having a cup of coffee with them. So that's not much rehearsal going in for that. For talks, I do simple mind maps and just keywords to steer me through the talk, and then I work my way through it. For TEDx talks, then I rehearse word by word by word, but I rehearse enough so I more or less forget about the words and just can talk them. I think that's one of the most important parts when it comes to rehearsing for a speech, is to, when you have rehearsed so you know the words, you've come halfway, so then you need to rehearse in equal amounts of time, So you like forget about the whole word by word thing, and then you can just talk to people and deliver a presentation, tell people the story. I said, don't read me a brochure, tell me a story. So you need to rehearse enough so you can feel comfortable just talking to people. I think that is a super interesting thing. Yes, and again, coming back to the funding thing and the AI thing, Nadia here as well. Almost all entrepreneurs are putting AI in front of their products or service, and this is like a typical hype thing. You'll find, I mean, what was it like 2-3 years ago? We had blockchain in front of everything, and today people are going, "Why are you using blockchain? It's like the slowest database in the world. Do you actually need blockchain?" Most people, no, they don't need blockchain. There are very few actual killer apps for blockchain out there. So it's very, very important. It's very, very important. I was going to say, one way of making your way is making sure always keep an ear to the ground and figure out what's going on, because even though you don't want to play into the popular thing, you still want to know what the vibe is downtown. Today it's very popular to talk about AI. Today it's not so popular to talk about NFTs and blockchain. That's kind of out. So if you're going to sell NFT, blockchain, anything, you need to have a really solid business case. And not many investors are running for that today, as they were like 3 years ago. Today is everybody's running for AI. Who knows what they'll be running for tomorrow? So, the trends and everything. See that here as well in KTH Innovation. People come to us in a trendy way as well. We've had a huge influx of AI things coming in now. And some are sort of, yeah, whatever. Even though you can use AI for most everything. So, yeah, anyway. Oh my God, it's 3:00. Whoosh! The world's fastest 30 minutes. Very, very short AMA here with me today. Next week, we guests again. I'll be running Innovation Fikas not through the whole summer, but I'll be doing it at least up until July. So I think that the 29th or something, or 8th, something, that will be the last Innovation Fika, I think. But hey, I'll be here. I might have some cool guests, so I'll try and run it as far as I can. With that, I'll say thank you for joining me here today. Happy to see you here all online today. Nadia, great to see you as well. Always. Oh, by the way, everyone follow this person here. Follow Nadia. He posts some really, really good comment, and she also has a show on Wednesday. Are you going live today, Nadia, at 12 your time? I think you are. I'll ask you a question. What is your topic today, Nadia? I think you're going live today, right? We'll see what she answers there. And then a question from Rohit there. What's faster, AMA or talk with guests? Talk with guests are crazy, Rohit. It's like I open my mouth and they start answering me, and I ask them a question, and we're always up to their three things. So, but this was a really fast half an hour. This is probably the fastest, shortest 30 minutes. This was the shortest 30-minute AMA I have ever done with you guys and girls. So thank you for spending time with me. Yes, Nadia, that's not an answer. Yes, it's not an answer. What is the topic? What's the topic and what's the time? Tell us. We're asking here. Look at this. What time, Nadia? Elena wants to know as well. What time are you going live, and what's the topic? This is good. My sessions here can always be like, we can be openers for Nadia here. So just pop in before we leave. Here we go. It's about funding and managing investor relations. Takeaways from Future of Ventura Capital Conference. Takeaways from a capital conference. Awesome. Very good. So this is 12 your time, Mountain Central Time. I think it's about 7 p.m. Swedish time. Noon EST, exactly. Noon in Nadia, and I think that will be around 7 p.m. European Swedish time. Thanks, Nadia. Awesome. And thank you all. Good seeing you today. Bye, Marcelina. Eric, always a pleasure. Let's get cracking on that thing with social care as well. Cool. Have a great day. I'll see you next week, Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. Innovation Fika. You know where to find us. Bye for now.